This epic war film vividly captures both the brutality of war and the triumph of the human spirit. Today, we bring you the 2004 cinematic classic, The Alamo. The film opens with roaring thunder and piercing cries as devastating news tears through the Texian camp. A messenger screams at the top of his lungs, "The Alamo has fallen, and all its defenders are dead." The news detonates like a bomb in the dead of night. People wake up in panic, rushing to pass on the word, and the camp descends into absolute chaos. The very name Alamo instantly becomes a dark cloud looming over everyone, as sorrow and fear spread like wildfire. Grown men break down in tears. With the fall of the Alamo, the future of Texas seems to have plunged into an endless abyss. Rewind to a year earlier, in Washington, D.C. At this point, Texas is still just a Mexican province, but a storm of independence is quietly brewing. Sam Houston, a frustrated politician, is working the Washington social scene, desperately seeking investors for his Texas venture. He paints a picture of a land flowing with milk and honey, claiming that anyone who swears an oath to join the militia will be granted 640 acres of land.
You take the oath for militia duty, you will receive 640 acres of your own choosing.
This tempting offer attracts many who are struggling to make it in America, including the renowned legend himself, Davy Crockett. Having just lost his congressional re-election, Crockett is feeling pretty washed up and unfulfilled. Houston seizes the moment and invites him to Texas. The two hit it off immediately. But while Houston and Crockett are pulling strings in Washington, the situation down in Texas is already at a boiling point. Mexican dictator Santa Anna has torn up the Constitution of 1824, sparking fierce resistance from the Texians. A group of pro-war militia leaders is busy plotting a major military strike. However, Houston, as the commander-in-chief of the Texan army, scoffs at their recklessness. In his eyes, this undisciplined ragtag group stands no chance against Santa Anna's highly trained regular army. But his voice of reason is completely drowned out by the fanatical warmongers. Soon enough, the council votes to strip Houston of his command. Houston's downfall paves the way for a man named James Bowie to step up. A notorious knife fighter with a fiery temper, he bluntly puts a stop to the bickering in the council. In a place like Texas, men like Bowie are the true alphas. Meanwhile, a young officer named Travis is getting a flashy, tailor-made uniform. Ambitious and hungry for glory, he volunteers to garrison the Alamo. However, just as he's preparing to chase his grand ambitions, the last person he ever wants to see shows up, his wife. It turns out that Travis abandoned his family for the sake of his career. She has come all this way just to finalize their divorce. Faced with his wife's absolute resolve and his son's coldness, Travis is filled with mixed emotions. He has no choice but to sign the divorce papers. With his family affairs settled, Travis sets off for the Alamo. On the flip side, the ousted Houston tracks down his good friend Bowie. Houston knows full well that Texas's only real chance of winning is to fight the enemy out in the open field. A fortress like the Alamo is nothing but a useless death trap. So, he orders Bowie to ride to the Alamo and bring back every single cannon they have.
I want you to return to the Alamo. Fetch the cannon back. Will you do that for me? Will you promise that you do that for me?
And just like that, several key figures who would later go down in history begin their journey toward the exact same fateful crossroads, the Alamo, each driven by their own motives. Bowie and his men arrive in San Antonio. This used to be his home, but the war has stripped him of everything. Staring at the familiar ruins, Bowie sinks into bitter memories of his late wife.
All right, Mr. James?
I have a home.
Soon after, Travis also arrives at the Alamo with his men, only to be immediately taunted by Bowie's militia. At this point, the Alamo is less of a fortress and more of a rundown mission. Despite the glaring holes in their defenses, the fort's commander, Colonel Neal, is full of confidence in their ability to hold it. But out of nowhere, Colonel Neal has to leave for a family emergency, handing the command over to the young Travis.
I have personal matters to attend to in Mina. I'm leaving you in command. I know you fought this posting, Travis. Fording up's not exactly a cavalryman's dream.
I'll defend it with my life, sir.
This pisses Bowie off big time. He originally came to execute Houston's orders to dismantle the cannons, and now he's expected to take orders from some greenhorn. Travis commands the regular army, while Bowie leads the volunteer militia. Neither is willing to back down, and a fierce power struggle over the command is on the verge of erupting.
Your men exhibit no discipline. If matters don't change, it will become my duty as colonel of this post.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Restrain your men, or I will.
Just then, the arrival of an unexpected guest temporarily diffuses the crisis. The legendary Davy Crockett rides into the Alamo with his boys.
It appears to me that we're all on the same side here.
What you doing out here?
My name's David Crockett.
Crockett of Tennessee, Davy Crockett. He prefers David.
His arrival is met with a hero's welcome. In fact, people are so relieved they think the war is already over. However, Crockett tells the crowd that the Lion of the West, the invincible man who wrestles bears barehanded and possesses superhuman strength on stage, is nothing more than a fictional character played by an actor.
Tell them, Davy, how you can whoop your weight in Wildcats. I seen you on stage.
Well, that wasn't me.
Why, sure it was.
No, sir, that's just an actor in a play. He's performing a character.
He himself is just an ordinary man from Tennessee. Little do they know, a true bloodbath is quietly creeping up on them. Leveraging his reputation, Crockett suggests holding a vote to decide the commander. As a result, almost all the volunteer militiamen present cast their votes for Bowie. Travis, pale with anger, insists that a volunteer cannot lead regular troops. He only agrees to let Bowie command the militia. Just as the two sides are locked in a stalemate, the town's warning bell suddenly rings out wildly. Santa Anna's massive army has arrived much earlier than anyone anticipated. The soldiers are already at the gates. Travis makes a split-second decision, ordering everyone to abandon the town and retreat to the Alamo immediately. In an instant, the townspeople and defenders scramble in pure chaos, flooding toward their only sanctuary. By this time, Bowie's lung disease has grown increasingly worse. Yet he pushes through his illness, directing the evacuation. Faced with the immediate crisis, Travis and Crockett also set aside their previous differences. Travis entrusts the weakest palisade defense to Crockett, while he himself takes overall command and dispatches messengers in all directions to call for reinforcements. Soon, the Mexican army lines up outside the fort with magnificent ranks and blaring military bands. They raise a blood-red flag, signaling their absolute refusal to accept any surrender. No quarter will be given. Bowie tries to raise a white flag to negotiate, but Travis flatly rejects it. Travis orders the cannons to fire, showing the Mexican army their ironclad resolve to fight to the death. With all hope of negotiation completely shattered, a furious Bowie confronts Travis, asking if he intends to get everyone killed for nothing. However, the message sent back by the Mexicans demands a surrender at discretion, which practically means the officers will be executed.
Perhaps, Colonel, they'll only execute the officers.
I think we all just got promoted.
Santa Anna doesn't launch a full-scale assault immediately. Instead, he opts for a siege and relentless artillery bombardment. He also has his band play an ancient military tune to psychologically torture the defenders.
Mighty nice of them to serenade us like this.
It's a cavalry march, but I'm told Santa Anna fancies it for other uses. He borrowed it from the Spaniards from the Moors. It's called Degüello.
Day after day of shelling leaves the defenders utterly exhausted, and Bowie's condition rapidly deteriorates. Coughing up blood that stains his handkerchief red, this once tough guy is now on his deathbed. Travis also lets go of his feud with Bowie. The two reach a consensus, hold the line to the bitter end, and wait for reinforcements.
Wind kicked up.
Take that ball to Captain Dickinson. We can reuse it. They're measuring our strength.
Move it! Move it!
Prepare yourselves!
To boost morale, Crockett leads his men on a proactive night raid, burning down the Mexican army's cover outside the walls. During a firefight, Crockett kills a young Mexican soldier. Staring at the boy's youthful face, he falls into deep thought. That night, he tells his comrades about his dark past, participating in a massacre of Native Americans when he was younger. He admits that the sheer brutality of that war still haunts him to this day. Just as the defenders are sinking into despair, some good news arrives. A small reinforcement force of 32 men breaks through the Mexican blockade and makes it into the Alamo. Though small in number, this hugely boosts the defenders' morale. However, the news they ultimately receive is devastating. Colonel Fannin is not coming. The very last shred of hope is extinguished. A severely ill Bowie, knowing his days are numbered, gives Joe the chance to leave. Yet, they all choose to stay. Seeing that no more help is coming, Travis gathers all the defenders. He tells them honestly that there will be no more reinforcements. They have been abandoned. But he calls on everyone to stay and fight to the very end for the future of Texas and for everything they hold dear. He gives every man the opportunity to walk away.
If anyone wishes to depart, under the white flag of surrender, you may do so now. You have that right.
But if you wish to stay here, with me, in the Alamo, we will sell our lives dearly.
However, staring death right in the face, not a single person backs down. Every last one of them chooses to stay and go down with the Alamo. Travis visits Bowie at his sickbed and tells him of this decision. Bowie praises his speech as eloquent and sincere. Facing imminent death, the two former rivals finally reconcile. Bowie only wishes for one last drink, and Travis obliges.
You know, you live another 5 years, you just might be a great man.
I think I will probably have to settle for what I am now.
Did it matter?
I'll see about fetching your bottle.
On the eve of the final battle, the Mexican military band strikes up again. Crockett, however, climbs up the fort wall and plays a harmonious melody on his fiddle. The soothing tune echoes across the deadly battlefield. It is their final moment of peace.
It's amazing what a little harmony will do.
Well, isn't that something?
Before dawn even breaks, Santa Anna's final assault begins. Thousands of Mexican soldiers surge toward the Alamo from all directions like a tidal wave. The defenders fight back fiercely as cannon, fire, and gunshots echo through the night sky. Yet against overwhelming sheer numbers, their resistance seems futile. The north wall is the first to be breached. Travis leads from the front but is tragically shot, dying a hero's death. The enemy floods into the fort, and the defenders fall back to the barracks and the church, engaging in brutal close-quarters combat. The palisade defended by Crockett is also quickly overrun. His comrades fall one by one, and he too is heavily wounded. Bedridden Bowie also meets his final moments. Using his very last ounce of strength, he fires his pistols at the enemies rushing into his room. Ultimately, he is brutally stabbed to death. When the dust settles, Crockett and a handful of survivors are hauled before Santa Anna. Even in his final moments, Crockett refuses to break. He mocks the dictator in his own signature style, even faking an attempt to negotiate surrender terms, completely playing Santa Anna for a fool. Humiliated and enraged, Santa Anna orders the immediate execution of all prisoners. Right up to his dying breath, Crockett remains a towering, unyielding screamer of the frontier.
I want to warn you all. I'm a screamer.
The Battle of the Alamo ends with the complete annihilation of the Texian defenders. But their sacrifice ignites a raging fire of vengeance across all of Texas. Houston adopts a strategy of avoiding direct confrontation, choosing instead to endlessly retreat and lure the enemy deep into the territory. However, this constant falling back sparks heavy resentment among his men. Yet, Houston remains completely unfazed, knowing exactly what he's doing. He is setting the stage to hand Santa Anna, the dictator who fancies himself the Napoleon of the West, his very own Waterloo. Finally, at San Jacinto, Houston spots his golden opportunity for a decisive showdown. Leading his vengeful Texian army, he launches a devastating surprise attack on the completely off-guard Mexican camp, charging in with the legendary battle cry, "Remember the Alamo!"
You will remember this battle! Remember each minute of it! Each second! Till the day that you die! That is for tomorrow, gentlemen! For today! Remember the Alamo!
The battle lasts a mere 18 minutes. Santa Anna's army completely crumbles, and the dictator himself is captured alive. To save his own skin, Santa Anna signs a treaty officially recognizing the independence of Texas. 9 years later, Texas officially joins the United States as the 28th state. The movie The Alamo authentically recreates this tragic yet heroic chapter of history, showing us the immense courage ordinary people can summon when fighting for their homeland and their freedom.